Hello, my name's Chris, this is Blue Kraken Gaming, and welcome back to Satisfactory, where if you are enjoying the series, I would ask that you please consider leaving a like, a comment or a subscription. Any will help the channel grow and they help get it out in front of other people, so thank you very much to those of you that do that. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be a weird episode, because if you've seen the comments, you'll have seen that I basically fluffed up the recording, so it didn't actually do any sound at the time I did the actual video. So I'm recording this afterwards, and basically at the moment here we did our quartz stuff last week, and off camera I've just been putting windows in because we now have access to windows. So I was basically talking about how I've not done anything with the actual structures or the lines, but we've just updated the windows here, and I think we then go on to how I've managed to get hold of some SAM ore, because although I haven't done any process lines, I have sort of gone and got hold of some resources. So we've got the SAM ore coming from this like really tall bit here, and I've just got that massive ramp that runs the ore down to a truck station that gets trucked over. And this was where I was sitting there. I was like, oh, so truck stations. Everyone fed back to me about how I fluffed up these truck stations because I had them too close together, where effectively the trucks were going to be sort of running into each other's zones. So I've re-looked at this, and I took that on board, and so I've changed the trucks. So the coal isn't coming here anymore, it's now going to our new truck shed is the best way to describe it. So literally, this is just something I've built off camera. It is a big box where we are bringing in trucks. So this is where the coal comes into this one, and it runs up above sort of the entryway there, and this is where we're dropping the SAM ore off. So it's a case of we can then basically have a bit more room. We've got the trucks coming through, and it's just putting that through there. We have got an upstairs, and upstairs is bringing in some Caterium. So at the moment this truck station is dealing with SAM ore and Caterium. Now it very well might be that we look to expand what we've got going on here, but it's bringing the Caterium in, as you can see I'm pointing at the moment, from basically that waterfall area. And here's our Caterium truck. So I've been trying to paint the trucks so that they sort of reflect the colour of what they're bringing in. Hence why the Caterium one's kind of tried to be this yellowy gold colour. And yeah, it's just running it in and dropping it off. So for today's episode, we work on, this is the thing, because I've already done it, I know what I'm doing, or I know what I did at this point. We effectively work on getting the Caterium and the SAM ore over to the main facility. So part of what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just heading over to the bridge that we've got set up, that we're bringing the quartz in on, because we've got two spare sort of connection points, and I'm about to have way more difficulty than I should trying to, hook that in to where it's meant to go, because I am forgetting that I need to double click, because I always forget that I can vary the heights on them. So yeah, we've got that in there, which is kind of nice, and then I try and do the same with this one and forget that it raises, and also have it pointed the wrong way, which is making it do all kinds of weird funky things here. But yeah, so this is where we start trying to get it over, because then, like I say, once we've got it over onto this floor, and we're using the upstairs again where we've got the quartz, and that's just because we've got a bit of room up here, and at the moment we've still got basically a temporary starter factory. This factory at some point is probably going to wind up getting torn down, just because it's a bit of a mess. It's kind of got random bits everywhere just to get it going, or get us going with production, but it doesn't actually give us much room to scale up at the moment. Now, one of the weird bits I'm going to have, like I say, recording the voice for this after the fact, is that I can't remember all of my thought processes as I'm doing this. So I remember I was trying to keep these bits high just to stop them basically bumping and clipping into things. But that was the Caterium line put in. And then I wanted to put the SAM line in as well, just so that it's got that first hill bit all straightened up. And then, yeah, we run back and we grab the SAM ore. Which, yeah, I am pleased that we've got access to SAM ore now. I've run into some questions with it, but I'm pleased we have it nonetheless. But like I say, this episode we wind up focusing on getting the Caterium done because I really, really want to get smart splitters off and underway and sort of made. So that's where we've got the gold and the purple coming in, which is kind of nice. And what I do here is, because I want to give a bit of a buffer and I just want us to have a load basically in stock, is we grab, he says, no, what was I doing in the MAM at this point? Oh, the Blade Runners, that was it. It was this episode we got the Blade Runners, because I like the Blade Runners, they are useful. Now, considering how close we are to the crystal oscillators, I haven't done it for next episode, because like I say, I've already recorded today's and Thursday's episodes, so I'm doing this after the fact. But next week we might have a look at the Explorer, because crystal oscillators are pretty close and we could do that by hand, and then we'd have a faster vehicle than the truck to meander around in, which might be quite nice. So at the moment I'm just hand grafting the modular frames that I need to get the Blade Runners, because they make such a difference. So yeah, that's the nice bit there. I think I said I was getting up to 20, because I expected to use some for the research and then I'd need some to actually construct said Blade Runners. And I completely forget there's a man downstairs as well that I could just run to go and do this. So let's have a look, because I think I've got to then go back downstairs to the equipment bench anyway. There we go, there's the Blade Runners, and that gets us going significantly faster. Oh yeah, and while we were there, we've just got the
equipped to run faster, jump with greater
dimension
force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to fix it.
Yep, that still tickles me that it's lowering my value to fix it, not my own health.
Pocket dimension now extra dimensionalized with additional dimensional capacity.
Okay, cool. And then we get the power slugs done, because I had been doing a bit of meandering off camera, so I have picked up, as you can see, some yellow and some purple power slugs.
Research completed. Yellow power slugs are further into their life cycle than blue power slugs, and thus have more potential energy stored. They can now be processed into power shards.
Okay, so I think this, oh, I try and grab some of the Caterium, and then I'm like, actually no, let's not grab it one by one off the belt. Let's give it somewhere to live. And this is where I really like, and the fact that we've got the straight belts now really comes into its own, because it just lets us just go straight into these and do that nice right angle turn, which, you know, it just makes factories look neat. I'm really pleased they've put that in. I really hope they get around to doing it into the pipes, because if we could have the pipes looking that neat as well, that would be amazing. Right, so that was where I was checking how much Quickwire, or how much stuff we needed for the Quickwire, how much SAM ore I needed to do the research for that. So it was just trying to grab some of basically all of this so we could get some of that research sort of up and underway, so we could start having a look and getting stuff in play. So there we go, that's the SAM going through.
Strange alien matter analysis completed. Dormant crystalline SAM can now be found with the resource scanner. In its dormant state, it is safe to handle without special equipment and can be stored indefinitely. Research for enabling the reanimation of dormant SAM is now available.
Fill the rivers with blood and let the effigies defile our temples. The sun will follow.
That still makes hair stand on end for me whenever that creepy voice takes over.
SAM reanimation recipe unlocked. SAM can now be safely awakened, provided it is contained. Meaning, if not contained in special electromagnetic storage, it tends to start breaking atomic bonds of any matter it has physical contact with, and reconstructing it into easily transportable resources.
Scripture and blood compose harmony. Follow our hallowed temple halls and listen to the echoes of your ripples. Our bones are more beautiful than yours.
Okay, and then we have a look at what we can do with the summer sloop stuff, which we're not ready for. And for that we need steel, and I realise that we need the steel there to get the dimensional depot set up. And I can't remember what we do next at the moment. I think I come over to try and unlock steel production. Yeah, we have a look at it. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Xeno Basher. I think we do try and have a look at maybe trying to get steel done in a moment. And we have a look at our iron belt lines, because we do need to make sure we've got those pipes coming, or not the pipes, the plates coming. Right, what are we up to here? I think this is where I am making the decision to try and definitely make sure that we get the steel undone. Well, not undone, but unlocked. So I wind up with a bit of an in-between. Oh, what are we up to with the assembler? Modular frames? What am I looking at modular frames for? Because I think we're already passively making them. Oh yeah, this was where I looked at the hard drive, and someone suggested that I wait until I unlock steel before I do the rescan, which I actually kind of liked as an idea, because I did not like either of those options. What I will say is that I did run into a small problem with that, but we'll get to that later. Oh, okay, so I'm not making modular frames. Wow, okay. So what we do here is we just do a very quick and dirty setup, so we can just start, even at a bad slow rate, automating the modular frames, so that we can get, like I say, get that underway, because we kind of need something, and I don't want to keep handcrafting it. So yeah, there we go. We've set those up. It's not a great rate, but it will do them. And we just kind of let that whir in the background. Like I say, we're not after it for a fast rate. This isn't meant to be like the setup we had at the Nexus at the end of the early access playthrough we were doing, but it just, like I say, kind of keeps everything ticking over. And I'm just upgrading the inputs there so that it can feed through a bit faster. I'm double checking the amounts we're making. It's like, oh, we're not going to be making enough for that, but to be fair to it, we don't need all of that. So even though I've sped up the output, we're still going to be fine, because we're still going to be putting more into the actual container than is going to be sort of feeding through. So that's just going to now fill up. I do consider overclocking it for a while. From memory, we undo that, because that winds up using an awful lot of reinforced iron plates, and it actually winds up using more than we're producing. So I have to undo that later, but I don't think I've realised that at this point. I think it is just going to continue working on and complaining about how long it takes to make that first one, because that is slow. Yeah, a whole minute for each one. Blimey. So we set that going, so that we've got that ready for when we want to unlock steel, because the modular frames are needed for the steel unlock. So at this point we then come over and we start working on the Caterium while we wait for that to kind of whir through in the background. So this is where we're then going to double check, and I want to have a look how much we're bringing in, because I can't remember how much that node is. Now it does wind up being a pure node that we're pulling, and there's that pure node at the bottom, but that's the one we're pulling. So we then do the maths, because if we're pulling a pure node, we've got 120, and I know there's 45 that we need in each smelter, so basically gives us 2 and a bit. So we lay down 3 smelters, and we basically underclock one of them to the 66% to keep it on the level. So we put that through. And that then gives us our 120 usage. So we then set up, a very quick basic splitter array here, But again, we're making use of the straight belts because they just make it look neat. So we get that in, we bring our Caterium ore in, and that starts coming through. I realise I've done a tier 1 belt at this point, so we upgrade it, and we bring the power across. Yeah, I ran out of cable. This is the fun bit with it, and this is why I kind of want to get some of the dimensional depots set up so that I don't have to come back and grab all of this. This is where I then make said blade runners, because I've now got the bits for it, and I'll come back downstairs and I start overshooting everywhere because I forget how fast this thing is, or how fast they are. So yeah, that's where we're properly now just, you know, taking to the air. And we're going to get down all of our smelters so we can start getting all of that Caterium ingots made. So I think from memory we wind up producing 40 a minute. But for the purposes of this, we do just put a buffer in the middle, just to keep things, like I say, flowing and yeah, not getting too upset with it. But again, still massively overshooting everything. And again, this is where I just recheck the maths to make sure I'm not going to need a tier 2 belt going into that buffer. What are we up to now? This is the bit I don't remember. Do we do some research? Yeah, I recheck I need steel for that. Right, we need 50 ingots for that Quickwire, okay. So what are we checking at the moment? I think we're now checking the modular frames to see how many of those we've made. So we've got 16, which I don't think is enough. No. We do throw what we've got in there though, and we go and collect some of the other pieces so we can get the basic steel done. Because, like I say, we do want to get the steel underway, because steel is going to be a stopper for us, and gaining access to the steel, they're not steel bars, I forget what they're called, but that gains us access to the tier 3 belts, which is going to be a nice upgrade. So yeah, we're just setting the rotors there, making sure that that's all backed up and we're not starving it for any of its resources it needs. I just love how much faster we are now we've got the blade runners. Right, whoa, overshooting the door. Right, grab the concrete. I suppose the challenge I'm going to have for editing with this is I've got to make sure that I line up what I'm saying with the video that I'm watching. So yeah, this is going to be a fun different experience for us. Right, so I'm checking the ingots, yeah, and I've got those so we can get the Quickwire unlocked, because I wanted to get the Quickwire unlocked before I put the assemblers down so that I knew basically how many we were going to be needing, because I can't remember the recipe for Quickwire, which is why we were trying to get that off and underway.
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
Okay, and then 100 Quickwire for Caterium electronics, which we do want, because like I say, I want to get the smart splitters. So checking, we've got 12 there to make 60. Now from this, we check it there, so we can do just about 4, and that's going to give us a little bit of spare ingots should we need them. Now I don't think we need them for anything, but we do just put down the 4 constructors here instead of trying to run one at like 10%. Now I do manifold this, and this is where we talk, or I have a brief discussion about how I know a lot of people like load balancing, and I get it. Load balancing spins up faster. It does, there's no two ways around it. If you load balance something, it will just immediately work at full efficiency. The reason I personally prefer manifolds like this is because although it takes time to spin up and get up to speed, they're significantly easier to expand. Whereas if you words are escaping me. If you load balance all of your production and then you need to expand it, you've got to recalculate and redo all that load balancing, which I don't want to do. And they can take up more room if you've got to do like multiple layers of splitters to get that balancing going on, which we did in our nuclear facility because I wanted that working at 100% in the early access sort of save. But for like everyday construction, I'd much rather use a manifold because it's just, to my mind, much more easy to expand. You just throw a load more stuff on the end and get on with it. So what we're up to here is we are just working out how much we can do now, because we've only got tier 2 belts at the moment, and that means we can move 120 items a minute. Now each of these constructors is going to be moving 60, so we can only have 2 to a belt. So what we wind up doing here is we put one set into the words are escaping me again. We put one set into the storage unit so that we've got some to contain and use, and we do make use of that later. But what I then do is we hop down here and we actually sync the other 120 a minute, so that we can actually generate a number of tickets. Now, because we don't need that much Quickwire yet. Now the faffing we wind up having is that I try and get everything lined up here, and this is where we wind up faffing a little bit, because as you may have heard, that went clunk, and I'm hoping I lined that up right. So I think it's connected, but then it turns out not to be, and so we wind up doing a bit of a hokey cokey to try and get it behaving, and yeah, having it in such a way that it will actually send it into the sync. But now we need to run back and we need to put the power lines forward, so we grab one of the power poles, can't remember which one we grab, and we literally just bring it forwards and belt, or not belt, but put everything in. Right, yeah, because I didn't want that clipping, that's what we did there. We then bring that over, and this time I put it in the middle of the middle of the foundation cross. And there we go. So that's now all powered, and now we're making Quickwire, which is good because that's what we need. I think I realise at this point we're fine with that. We are making enough. That was the bit with it again. I'm just checking the maths. So that was it. We're making 40. But I did the maths on the assumption we're making 50, which means we aren't quite producing enough Quickwire to feed everything. Which is fine, because it's actually the sinking ones that are not going to be at full efficiency. This is where I realise it's not actually coming all the way down here, because it's not making it into that container. So something's gone wrong here. It's gone down to the lift, but it's not actually then going anywhere. And at this point, I connect it off of the splitter instead of through the ceiling mount. But I think from memory, this just snaps in. I think I go upstairs to check it, but I think it did actually just, snap straight in. Now, it starts stopping because we've got I try and line up a floor hole, but I can't. It just won't play ball. It won't line up perfectly, so I just decided to deal with it. Because, again, this is only a temporary thing, so I didn't want to spend too long faffing. But we're feeding 120 in there, and it's on a stop-start. And the reason it's a stop-start is because, although that's tier 2 there, the little bit that this splitter is on, which is why we now wind up taking it apart, is only a tier 1 belt. So we have to upgrade that, then put the splitter back, and then we put the belt, or the conveyor lift back. But I don't think we line it up quite as perfectly this time. I think we tried, but it doesn't behave. Oh no, or did it? No, it did. There you go. It brings it straight down. Okay. And then it feeds in there, and then we can see our Quickwire going, and that's going to start getting us some more tickets. Which is good, because we want tickets, because we also want lights. It's so dark in here. So we do want to try and get lights at some point as well. We check the frames, which we've now got, so we can get steel under production. Which, like I say, is a nice milestone for us.
Milestone reached. Coal and iron can be combined in the foundry to start steel production. Project part number 2, the versatile framework, can only be created via automation, not at a crafting bench. Delivering these to the space elevator is essential if we are going to complete phase 2 of project assembly and save the day. Fix-It and humanity is relying on you.
Okay, and this is where I then rescan the hard drive. Now I've got steel unlocked, and I am not happy with either of those selections. Because steel into a steel rod is a waste, and Caterium into normal wire is again a complete waste. So I don't really like either of them. I think I wound up having to pick one. And I think I take the Caterium wire. Oh no, yeah, I take the steel rod. That was it. But I don't like either of them. That felt like a wasted hard drive, and I'm regretting that I didn't take the wet concrete when I had the opportunity now. But we're making Quickwire, so I grabbed that so we can start getting our smart splitters worked out. But before that, we need to get into AI limiters. So we unlock the Caterium electronics.
New Caterium research options available. Congratulations on finding this metal. Many Fix-It initiatives will benefit from Caterium's applicability in advanced engineering. Also, it is probably not sentient, and so unlikely to feel pain as we exploit it.
We unlock the zip line.
Zipline unlocked. When equipped, the zipline facilitates travel along power lines, regardless of whether the line is powered. Note: based on previous Pioneer events, Fix-It recommends not using zip lines during thunderstorms and typhoons, or while drinking coffee.
And then we get the AI limiters, which we need to go and construct in a minute.
Research completed. AI limiter recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
And I really thought Ada at that point was going to make some kind of comment about AI limiters and the fact that she's an AI and that we shouldn't limit her or something along those lines. I really genuinely thought that. But for speed, we get an assembler down. Because again, this is all just like a starter factory to get us making some stuff in the background. So we grab our wires from there, quick wire from in here. And I double check the amount, so realise we need 100 Quickwire a minute. We bring the power over, and we start making AI limiters. And then we grab our storage box for them to literally live in. And then, yeah, we need to get that off and underway, and we need to get some AI limiters made so that we can unlock the smart splitters. Which, yeah, we just let that wear away. And I think at this point, again, this is working from memory. I'm explaining what we're up to, but there's our first AI limiter made. So, I can't remember what we do next now. What did we do next? That was away for a bit. We come back and we have a look. Do we do anything with the SAM yet? I don't know that we do. I think we're checking that that's flowing quite nicely. And we're just having a look around, make sure everything's flowing correctly. That's going to start building up some Quickwire for us. And we've definitely got, you know, a production of copper sheeting there. Because I think originally that box was completely full before we started dropping it in here to make the AI limiters. So right now it's more just a case of we need to wait for some time to go so we've got enough AI limiters to make the smart splitters. I think one of the bits I consider here is moving some of that into... Yeah, we do. We move some of that into our storage line. I don't think my brain at this point was actually doing the whole, oh, hang on a minute, you've got a 120 line, we physically can't stuff any more onto it. But you know what? I just sent some that way to try and see what it was doing. But yeah, that doesn't stay very long, that little chain. Can't remember whether I removed it on or off camera, but yeah, that little link doesn't stay there because it just starts getting backed up. Come over, check the AO limiters, because I think we only needed like 10 for the smart splitters. Can't remember. I think I come downstairs and double check how many I actually need. What was I looking at there? There you go, there's the MAM. Oh yeah, double checking I need steel for that. So I'm talking about how we do need to start getting steel done, and I need to work out what I'm going to do with the coal and the iron to unlock that, because we do want to get that dimensional depot. And I'm just having a look through the alien tree here, but it's until I get down to the dimensional depot, I don't think there's much I can do in there, because we're a long way off doing the overclocking or anything along those lines. This is just a little bit of housekeeping, dropping off some leaves and some wood. But I think this is where I wrap it up. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try and jam this in and say, as usual, likes, comments, subscriptions, they will help the channel grow, they help get it out in front of other people, so thank you very much to those of you that do that. Thank you very much to my YouTube channel members, your support is very much appreciated, and please don't forget that as a supporter you do get access to the save files for any of the open world games I'm currently playing, along with the blueprints for that and early access to the videos. But other than that, thank you all very much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you all next time.